about to go. Oh.
New York, New York, New York, New York.
We're on.
Oh shit. My bad. Unique. H-Town.
Here we go.
Come on, hey, how's this bald head look, Jay?
What's up, y'all? Welcome into Sports with Balls. I am your host, Jeff Michael, sitting here with the one and only Mike Scarborough, as usual. Lauren, out of town. Well, that's as usual. Lauren's always gone these days, man. But that's good. She's out working. Got incredible news for you later on in the show. But welcome in, Mike.
Yo, what's up, Jeff?
Love having you on the show.
Man.
It's always a blast. I see you're gracing us with your hair this evening.
Ooh, man, you don't get that often.
Did you shine it?
No, just
You
shaved
did-
it up a little bit.
just shaved it up a little bit?
Put a little oils on there, natural oils.
Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah.
Welcome in, y'all, to Sports with Balls. We're sitting over here at Christian's Tailgate, 2000 Bagby. This place is popping right now.
I know, man.
Oh, golly.
I think I'm going to have to stay afterwards.
Man, it is. There's a lot of people here, man. They got drink specials all night. Houston's #1 hamburger, cheeseburger, whatever, in the city. It's amazing. You guys come and join us. We'll be here for the next hour. And as Mike said, might stay here afterwards.
Might
Might
get a little
come talk some
buffalo
sports
wings.
with us,
Yeah,
man.
heck yeah.
Crazy 4 days for the NFL.
Is it more bipolar than the weather that we've had here in
Yeah,
Houston?
right. Jeez, man. The NFL. We're gonna get into it, but man, what an incredible 4 days, right? So you've had these games on Sunday that were just phenomenal, and then now they're being sued.
Yeah,
It's
all
like,
of a sudden, ratings.
Wow, like my goodness. We're gonna get into it in a minute. Look, but today's show brought to you by attorney Brian White. If you're injured for any reason and need real results from a real attorney, call attorney Brian White. Best phone number in the business, 713-500-5000. That's attorney Brian White. He is on point. Motorcycle accidents, car accidents, whatever you got, call attorney Brian White. He will get you hooked up. Also, your man, my man, Corey Fitz and Fitz Roofing, making a difference, serving people, driven by our commitment to the community, focused on building relationships, not just revenue. That's fitzroofing.com, F-I-T-Z. Look at it on the screen, fitzroofing.com. It's up here, so you got to go right here.
Like Vanna White.
Yeah, exactly.
What's
Did
up,
I do
Corey?
that right? Is it right? Yeah, right there. Look, see, you can see it over there. Man, welcome in to Mike Scarborough. How was your weekend, bro? Did you win or lose money?
Well, I didn't win nor lose, but I feel like I was a winner because I got to watch the game. So
Yeah, it was fun, man. All right, y'all.
I picked the losers, by the way.
This is going to be one hell of a show, man. I've got a lot to say, and I'm sure does Mike, man. Let's get this thing started. Let's go.
All right. Well, that Kansas City one would have been good. God,
Almost.
7 points. Some dude won $535,000.
Welcome to Sports with Balls. Here are your hosts, Jeff Michael and Mike Scarborough.
Oh, you like that?
Wow, they even said it nicely. You got it right. That's nice.
Oh, man,
Appreciate
y'all,
that.
welcome into Sports with Balls. What a show we have for you today. Commercial-free 1 hour of straight sports. Let's effing go. We were just talking about that a second ago. You said, somebody made a $5 bet, and they guessed the exact scores of both games, right?
Like a straight parlay, I think a three deal parlay or whatever. Yeah, $535,000.
Insane, man.
That is-
Insane. Was it $5 or 20? It was $5, I think.
I think it was 5. Yeah, the total, because I think he teased. I forgot. I read the details. Can't remember.
Jesus, man.
Seen a lot, but that's crazy. How would you like to be sitting there and be like, and that hits
A half a mil?
Yeah, he's like,
We'd be having a good time, I can tell you
yeah,
that.
we probably wouldn't be here.
I tell you, we'd be having a real good time. $500,000 off $5, man. Sports wagering has been absolutely enormous this year, right? So it became legal that you can gamble on whatever, DraftKings, FanDuel, wherever. There's sports, there's gambling sites everywhere now.
Right.
You can drive over your car, if you're in Texas, like where we are, you can drive to Louisiana where gambling is legal, and as soon as you hit like the Louisiana border, you can log into your DraftKings and
Bam.
sports bet. And now they have a sports book in one of the casinos over there, which is really interesting. Mafia and all that. Las Vegas usually had the stronghold for sports betting. You could only bet sports in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And now it's everywhere.
Everywhere.
Now it's huge. And it kind of ties in to our first story, which is absolutely enormous. Bombshell dropped by Brian Flores. Not just a lawsuit. A class action lawsuit against the NFL. What was your initial reaction when you heard the story?
Well, it obviously, whenever you hear something like that, the first thing you do is kind of put a question mark on it, like where's it coming from?
Sure.
But if the proof that he has that I've seen now, I know how it kind of goes in the legal department. Just because it has somebody's name on that text thread, if it doesn't have the phone number, it can be manipulated. They're going to look at all that information.
You're talking about the Belichick Texas.
But that doesn't really matter. I guess the point of it being is that this guy's taking a stand. He believes in it. It might cause the end of his career in the NFL. I hope it doesn't. But
yeah, I mean, this was unbelievable, unprecedented. They've come up with so many things in the NFL as far as hiring minorities. They've tried to make it better, and this is a stain on them again. But I have so many different schools of thoughts on this, man. I mean, in one aspect, it's like, is he right? And I think on a couple of these things he is, but I don't think he's right on everything. I don't. I think this was in general a pissed off person. Because he did get text messages from Bill Belichick saying, hey, look, congratulations, Brian, but he was texting the wrong Brian. And apparently, it was almost like a faux interview they gave him because they got to keep up with the Rooney Rule, right?
Right.
In the NFL, which is, you have to interview two minorities for your head coaching job.
Right.
Or, and I think that's a sham, too. Like, not necessarily that you have to, but to even put that in place. Like, that's just ridiculous.
The word have to.
Yeah.
That rubs me the wrong way.
You had to know something like this was coming,
right?
If you put that rule into place.
And I get it. I heard something on the way over here. 136 head coaches since the Rooney Rule has been put in place. 136 coaches have been hired, and only 12 or 13 of those have been black coaches.
Yeah, so
it's not working the way it is.
No, it's not. And there's only 5. Let's just take out race for a second, right? Because a lot of people are putting this on race, and I'll tell you why it's really not. There's only 5 head coaches left that in the NFL right now that were hired more than 5 years ago.
Wow.
A head coaching job is number one, it's really hard to get. Number 2, it's almost impossible to keep.
Right.
Right? I mean,
and there's only 32 of them.
Yeah, there's 5 head coaches in the NFL right now that were hired more than 5 years ago. That's
crazy.
it.
That is wild. I did not know that.
That is insane.
It's that new younger generation, though.
I mean, it's the win now.
Yeah.
It's the win now thing, and it's very this Brian Flores thing is. It's very interesting, and now you're coming out and just broke right before we came on air that Hugh Jackson, who was the old Cleveland coach, now says he was also going to get paid for tanking. Now listen, this is where owners are idiots, right? You can tank, and tanking in all levels of sports is done. Like we get that. Like tanking, especially in professional sports, NBA, MLB. Look, we all know that tanking does. Now, but what you do is like if a guy has a sprained ankle, you hold him off for a few more weeks than he probably should.
Right.
You don't say, hey, here's $100,000 for every game you lose, man.
Yeah.
Like what? Like that right there is ruthless.
That is, and when I think about that as a head coach, you're in there trying to instill a certain type of mindset to the team. You're trying to build upon the culture that you're building, and then you have your general managers that's incentivizing you to tank. That's got to be a really difficult juxtaposed position for the head coach. He has to do what his employer says, but he also has an obligation to his team. And man, that's messed up. I understand it.
Yeah.
But for him to come out and say that, look, these guys are getting to voice their opinions and they're letting it all on the table. So let's get it all on the table and let's really do something. Because Roger Goodell in his speech 2 years ago about this stuff, he made it clear that the NFL was going to do something about it. But then it's just all lip service, kind of like we were talking about earlier, just bumping the gum. So.
I don't think this is a Roger Goodell issue.
No, it's not.
I don't. The coaches, the coaches for the owners of all these NFL franchises, those are the owners of Roger Goodell. Like, they're the ones that own the NFL. There's a problem with these owners that are 80, 75 plus years old, making these absolute rash and dumb decisions. I bring up the Cowboys for an example. Jerry Jones sometimes interjects a little bit too much than he should. Now you've got this idiot Cleveland Browns owner. You've got this idiot New York Giants owner. Like, these people and the Miami Dolphins are coming out now saying that, because I totally understand. If you go through your whole life and build yourself up and you're a billionaire and you buy a business, you're allowed to do whatever the hell you want with that business. Like, I'm for that. Like, that's your right to do whatever you want. But that's why you have boards in place in these businesses, to where when you get sort of out of your realm and out of your sorts, well, the board takes over.
Right.
And that's where sometimes I think that these NFL franchises should maybe take over, and there should be a vote. Right now, if you had to vote this Miami Dolphins owner out, he'd probably be gone.
Yeah, he's probably gone.
He's probably gone.
But he still cuts the checks.
Yeah, so. And that's the issue. And like that's the real with all of the Brian Flores allegations. That's the one I have the biggest issue with, is paying a coach to tank, because these players and their families, they all rely on those paychecks.
Yeah, and it could be that year that you're in a contract year or whatever. You're a guy that's on the bubble, and you need to get that game film. Hey, you might not be on that team this year, but you still got to get that game film so that you can stay in the league.
Yeah,
so,
you're always auditioning for the other 31 teams in the NFL
every week, really.
Yeah, and so if they're paying you to tank, I mean, you're that I have a real issue with. I think that is messed up. The other stuff is, racism is going to exist regardless of whatever you do, however you do it. It doesn't matter. You could hire 99% black coaches, it's still racism.
Right.
Like, it doesn't matter. So there's 4,000 different opinions on how that all wants to play out with the NFL. There does need to be some sort of change, but I just read off a minute ago that only 5 head coaches have been, that are still there that were hired more than 5 years ago. So the head coaching job, whether you're black, white, Mexican, it doesn't matter. It's such a hard job. And it's not like the other guys that were just hired are not capable or not deserving of. Mm-hmm. It's a very, very tough position. And sometimes these owners are forced into just very, very hard situations. They're money hungry. They make a rash decision. I mean, there's more failures. I think the hit rate, Colin Cowherd said this today, the hit rate on head coaches in the NFL, which means success, is 7%.
Jeez. That's like,
holy crap.
But you know what that correlates to is when people go and open up their own business. I mean, the success rate and you being a success as a business is about 5 to 8%. So that correlates to the same as being a head coach. So it's a revolving door. It's a we want to win now type of generation. So how they start to make that work so that everybody feels included and that they're getting a shot. I don't know, because it like you said, it is such a hard job to get.
Yeah,
I mean, people put on a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of sacrifice to be a head coach. Me personally, I wouldn't want to be a head coach. I couldn't deal with all the team drama, the players, the drama with the GM, the drama with the owners, and then you got to deal with the fans and the media. I don't get it.
Two
big paydays.
2 black GMs were hired during their offseason so far, which is great. That's a start for the NFL to get a couple of black GMs in there, because that's where it all starts. Like, you got all this clamoring for head coaches, man. Look, get an owner. Have somebody buy the Denver Broncos for $4 million that's black, or $4 billion. I'm sorry, that's black. Look, you're not going to change things unless you change from the top. Right? So having a couple of black GMs in there now might help out a little bit for this situation that Brian Flores is talking about. But I take a couple of things to heart with Brian Flores and what he did. Number one, releasing the text messages from Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
That's some private shit. Like, I don't agree with that at all, man.
Right.
Now, if you want to mention somebody's name and say, I have text messages from a certain person that says this, cool. But no, you're going to blast
them out.
Because when somebody texts you or whatever, you take that in confidence, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, even though Bill Belichick may be messed up, and the Giants, look, so what if they already hired their coach? They were doing the Rooney Rule, which I told you from the beginning was a sham anyways.
Yep.
But I don't like him releasing that. And then coming out and saying John Elway and his staff was hungover and drunk at their interview. Man, that, like, It's like telling somebody stuff that goes on in a locker room.
Right.
And you don't do that.
Yeah, keep it inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I take issues with that. I didn't like the way he handled that
It's
at all.
like a date that went bad and she's
Yeah,
talking mess
so
on
that's
you.
that's exactly what I related to. Like, because he got fired from Miami, he hasn't. And by the way, there's still 2 head coaching jobs that he's in line for: the New Orleans Saints and the Houston Texans.
Right.
Like, still.
Yeah.
But will he get those now?
No.
I highly doubt it.
Too
But,
much attention now.
you know, like, I don't like how he starts throwing people under the bus. Look, you want to throw the Miami thing under the bus because, $100,000 to 10 games. Like, yeah, I mean, that's integrity, and I understand all that. But you start throwing other franchises in the NFL under the bus, dude. The NFL has attorneys, bro. They are not bad.
That's not a system I want to go up against. That's for sure.
And I think that's where I take precedence, where I'm like, dude, that kind of makes me think that you're a disgruntled employee.
Right.
When you start throwing names and stuff from people, John Elway.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Right. And
Even if
that's
he was
when you start
hungover, you don't say that. Like,
when you start finger pointing, you got 3 pointing right back at you and that kind of thing. And I understand he's taking a stand, and that takes a lot of courage to do that.
Sure.
Because there's going to be a lot of people that are going to disagree with him, but for anything to change, somebody's going to have to sacrifice. So I got to give him that. Just as a man to a man, it takes a lot of courage. But yes, and it's not always going to sound right. It's not always going to look right. But man, the guy did take a stand, and that's what he believes. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, this is the NFL, and for as big of a business as it's been the last month with all these incredible football games, wow, he just came out and dropped a bombshell on things. And then, like I said, just before we came on air, Hugh Jackson just came out. And look, in his 4-year plan, he says he had a 4-year plan that incentivized losing. And this includes, it led to his 1-31 record during the 2016-2017 season.
Talking about being handcuffed.
Wow.
What was that, 31
Cleveland
losses?
Brown fans, like, y'all just can't get, I mean, my goodness, dude. Like, that is
And they're the most
unbelievable.
devoted fans in the
And now
NFL,
your owner was tanking on
yeah.
purpose and paying people to do
I
it.
wonder how that's going to look next year.
Yeah, not good.
No, I mean, if you're a
Not
season ticket
good.
holder, I guess, what do you do?
This is, man,
I don't want to go watch a game that they're possibly
and
going to
that's,
tank.
I honestly think that out of the Brian Flores situations, and I understand that the race thing is a concern, but that's not something that's immediately going to happen. There needs to be actions to take instead. Like I said, I think the Rooney Rule is complete crap. Like, you're forcing teams to do some stuff that they probably don't want to do, but there's other steps that they can take. Now, this paying coaches to tank that's the issue to me. Like, that's huge. Like, and now you've got another head coach coming out and said that he was paid to do it.
The same, yeah.
Oh,
so
man,
that kind of solidifies it. That gives it some teeth, man. And to be a head coach and to like battle the system, so to speak, and get that opportunity as Hugh Jackson, and now that's his head coach. That's his record.
Yes, exactly.
And it's not going away.
Yeah.
He's always going to be known for the guy that won one game during his head coaching tenure. So who's going to pick him up? So that's it's a double shot in the foot, so to speak, like shooting yourself in the foot deal. That is why you don't tank. You don't incentivize a head coach to tank.
That's unbelievable, man.
For the head coach.
That is absolutely unbelievable. And, we'll see what takes place. I hate to comment for too long on this subject because there's all kinds of stuff's going to come out. Like, obviously. And for something to overshadow Tom Brady's retirement and these playoff games, it's got to be pretty big. And this is like taking precedence over everything.
Yeah.
This is insane what Brian Flores has come out and dropped. But, I mean, here it is, and the NFL is going to have to deal with it. And, man, honestly, usually the NFL does great with things like this.
They do. They turn it around.
They've got a cover-up scheme and a plan for all this, and, they know what they're doing. But we'll see what happens. We'll see how this all plays out.
They want everybody talking about the NFL, and they're doing a good job of doing it. So
yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. This coming up, we got Thursday, Friday. Well, you've got a week and a half left till Super Bowl, right? So I'm sure they'll have a pretty good smear campaign. They'll try to figure this all out. But yeah, this is definitely a bad stain on the NFL. And again, I'm gonna tell y'all again. I don't think this isn't Roger Goodell. This has nothing to do with Roger Goodell. So please, y'all that are out there, don't think this is a Roger Goodell issue. Roger Goodell doesn't tell teams to tank. He doesn't tell people to do anything like that. Roger Goodell works for the 32 owners of the NFL. NFL franchise,
Right.
right? So it is their fault. These are the guys, and him calling out certain owners. That's who you have to take issues with. The Miami Dolphins owner, and now you find out the Cleveland Browns owner, and then now the New York Giants. If that comes to fruition with the whole, they knew who they were going to hire. That you take precedence with those owners. This isn't Roger Goodell's issue.
No.
He's a commissioner. He works for the 32 owners. So. Take it as you have it, and, man, we'll just move on because, look, this is Sports with Balls, and one thing I hate doing on the show is talking politics.
Politics, yeah, I'm not good at it anyway.
Yep,
I stink.
I hate it.
You win.
Let's get to something that's actually a little bit more football-related than Brian Flores is Tom Brady.
Man, I was wrong about that.
Officially retired. I thought he'd wait till the 4th or 5th. I'm sure they gave him his money anyways.
That's what I was saying.
Officially retires, and I mean, what stat does he not have, right? Who is this good for? Who's it bad for? I don't know. Tom Brady, let's see. First in passing yards. This is his all-time ranks. Passing yards first, passing TDs first, his wins first, win percentage is first, his EPA is first, his WPA is first, Pro Bowls first, Super Bowl appearances first, Super Bowl wins first, Super Bowl MVPs first, conference championship appearances first, playoff yards first, playoff touchdowns first, playoff EPA first, playoff wins first.
Man, he take a deep breath after that one.
Oh, my God,
And
bro.
22 years.
Wow.
God.
22 years, 21 seasons, never had as a starter, Tom Brady never had a losing season.
That blows my mind.
Oh, my God.
The league is now really geared to these quarterbacks putting up some crazy stats. I think his are going to probably hold for a very, very, very long time. But that's the cool thing about the NFL. It evolves. Brady's been a part of that evolvement. And as you've seen his career progress, man, just amazing accomplishments.
Yeah, Pat Mahomes would have to play till he's 41 or 42 years old and keep the same rate that he's at right now to even touch Tom Brady.
That's crazy.
And that's barring injury, player turnover, coaches, like everything. Like, I mean, that's almost impossible. Tom Brady, like, so people, everybody's like, him and Michael Jordan, like people that are top of their game. I say, for me, I compare him to maybe Tiger Woods. But Tiger Woods' prime. The rate that Tiger Woods was doing things, it's just unbelievable. The greatest golfer ever. Like, Tom Brady, I think, is the top of everybody else, right?
Yeah.
Like, other than Tiger's got I think 12 majors, 13 or 15 majors. And Tom Brady's got 7 Super Bowls. Jordan was 6 rings. Who do you compare him to, right?
I don't know, because when you look at the other quarterbacks in the same breath, I mean, Tom Brady doesn't, when you look at him on paper, when you look at him in uniform, he don't look like a guy that's going to be doing those type of things.
No.
Athletically, he's not what I would call the best of the best on the top of the list, but his stats are just, I mean, it's amazing. And what he did with whether it's Belichick and the Patriot way, I'm starting to think it was really Tom Brady's way.
There's rumors that he is going to sign a one-day contract with the New England Patriots so he can retire as one, which I think he should.
Yeah.
I think that's the way he should go out for sure. It's just Tom Brady. I used to, growing up, I was Joe Montana nut.
Yeah.
I loved San Francisco 49ers and Joe Montana, man. And I thought there was nobody better in the football game than Joe Montana to Jerry Rice. Just watching that was magical, man. And I have to admit, when he went to Tampa Bay and won in Tampa, I was like, damn, this kid, he's good.
He's good.
And I think that he probably is the GOAT, for sure. I think hands down. I don't think anybody comes close.
Let me ask you a question with that being said. So if you, and a lot of people talk about this when they're sitting with their families or at a bar watching the game, whatever, who would you take if you need to win a Super Bowl amongst the top 5 quarterbacks?
Brady.
You would do Brady.
Yeah. I mean, you would. I mean, a lot of people would. It's just, and everybody has the same face. Our producer, Jason, was just like, but you would. It's that same, like, damn it. But, yeah, you would. Like, you would take Tom.
I just wouldn't. That's the thing. I don't, call me crazy.
Who would you take?
Man, I'm going to go with, Elway, man. I love that guy.
Elway?
He could throw it. He could run it. He under pressure. He could take the hits. He could read the field. I mean, granted, he did have some pretty good receivers, but overall, I think as a quarterback, John Elway's my guy.
Elway won his first Super Bowl because Terrell Davis was an absolute monster.
Yeah.
Now, look, don't get me wrong. Brady has won Super Bowls off some complete BS, okay? The tuck rule, I said this on Thursday, the tuck rule was crap.
Yeah.
It never should have happened. That was a fumble. It
All
was
day.
an absolute fumble.
All day.
And there's a few other things that happened with Brady that he probably has 4 or 5, well, probably 5 legitimate Super Bowls, without there being like too much of an argument against him. Brady just he knows where to put it and how to put it over there, man. It's just weird. Like the ball gets there before the receivers do. He's not the best improvising quarterback. He's not Brett Favre.
No.
But he puts the ball where it's supposed to go.
And that's basically the same thing that Joe Montana was able to do.
Yeah.
Not the most gifted, but that guy knew where the ball was going, and he had that ball in the air before the receiver was even making his break. But he knew how to get to the guys that needed to get to, and that's what Brady is just a master at. He's able to dissect the defense. He knows when guys are open. But he doesn't even throw it to him because he knows he's going to use that in his back pocket. I love watching Brady. Like I say, he's not the most exciting guy like a Mahomes or whatever.
No.
He's not going to get out.
He's more annoying. He's more annoying than anything, right? Because you're like, God, man, really? He just did that,
Yeah.
and it does it. He looks like effortlessly, man. But he puts it in a place where only his receiver can do it. And it's not like he's throwing these 70-yard bombs and just dropping them in a bucket.
Right.
No, he's just doing 15, 20-yard out routes that just only these receivers can get. And you're like, how the hell does he do this? He's a genius at reading defenses. He's like, I don't know who was better, him or Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning was just incredible at that. But man, Tom
from what I know from friends that play with Peyton Manning is like there is nobody ever in the game that knew how to dissect a defense like him. I mean, he knew everything that they could throw at him, and he knew it before they're going to do it. So, yeah, I would put him in the same breath as what's his Manning.
Brady and Manning as far as reading defenses?
Absolutely. So if you were going to take between those two guys in the Super Bowl, you're still going to go with Brady?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been there. I'd put them right at the top. Brady and Manning are probably up there.
There'd be like
nose to nose.
6,000 yards thrown that game.
I take whoever wins the coin toss.
Right, there you go.
I'll take whoever wins the coin toss. Yeah, will anybody ever, I wonder what it is right now because, you bet on the coin toss. Like, who's not betting tails in the Super Bowl?
I know.
The coin toss at the very beginning. I'm going tails. $100 on tails. 100%.
I might go 1,000.
If you go heads, exactly. If you go heads on the coin toss of the Super Bowl, you're an idiot.
It's kind of like the Chiefs not being able to go to 3 Super Bowls back to back. So
yeah, I told you, there's no way that was happening.
No way that it's going to be heads.
I'll tell you who's happy that Tom Brady is out of the NFL. That's everybody in the NFC. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Where did they go from here? Was it Haskins, I think, is their quarterback that they have over there? Who's the backup over there? I think it is Haskins and Tampa Bay. I don't know where you go. You have a ton of talent. I don't think Fournette. I doubt Gronk comes back. Gronk is gone. I'm almost positive. He can't. I don't think Gronk's going to go play without Brady.
No.
Now, Brady gave him $1 million on like 2 passes.
That's why he got out of retirement to go play with Brady.
Yeah, so you can count Gronk gone, but they have Cameron Brate, who's also incredible. I think Leonard Fournette might be gone, but they have Ronald Jones, who's great, and they still have an incredible wide receiving core. Tampa Bay could be pretty good, but the NFC now wide open. Tom's out. So that brings in another team that is possibly in the playoffs, and you got those Fab Five being the Dallas Cowboys, Green Bay Packers, Tampa Bay, LA Rams who are in the Super Bowl, and then the Arizona Cardinals. But now you also have the San Francisco 49ers where Jimmy G is going to be gone, and who knows where he's going to go. Somebody's going to pick him up for sure.
I was listening to what Najee Harris talked today on the radio, and he one of the quarterbacks that he would like to see maybe is Garoppolo come in. That really blew my mind. That's Pittsburgh. I don't see.
It's a perfect fit for him.
Yeah, but I don't see Garoppolo as a Pittsburgh
mentality.
He's too good looking.
He's a porn star, Jimmy G. Look, that is so.
Played linebacker, by the way.
You've got the Denver Broncos who are in line. Either, in my opinion, Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams are either staying in Green Bay, which, man, they are way over the cap. I don't know how that's possible.
Right.
but they either stay in Green Bay or I think they both go to Denver, which makes them an immediate Super Bowl contender. And then if that happens, I do see Garoppolo going over to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I do see that, and that they've got it. That's a perfect fit for him. All you got to do is maintain. They got an incredible defense with T.J. Watt.
Yeah.
An incredible run game. Najee Harris will be on his second year. He'll be a beast next year. They've got They got Claypool. They got Deontay Johnson out there. Dude, Pittsburgh could have a great team with Garoppolo in line.
They've got the ingredients. They need a good chef over there to cook it up.
There you go.
So, yeah, that would be cool to see them there.
And the Pittsburgh Steelers,
it would look weird, but
yeah. In their division, you've got Joe Burrow, who you got to deal with every year now, man.
Joe.
And Lamar Jackson.
Cool.
And I don't know about the Cleveland Browns and Baker. Cleveland fans, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Again.
Sorry for Cleveland fans. More bad news for Cleveland today, dude. Like, golly. Your team tanked on purpose?
Yeah.
Dude, can those fans sue?
And they're stuck with Baker Mayfield?
I would sue. I'd do a class action lawsuit. Like, I would sue for my money back on every one of those games.
Yes.
Because you were losing on purpose.
Hard paid money.
What's
to
the
go
one
watch
game
that.
he won? I want to. Somebody show me that game that they won.
Man, probably the Texans.
And it was probably the Texans. Wow, and it was probably an accident. Like damn it, he lost his incentive for that.
We were trying to give you that game.
Yeah, like a muff punt or something.
4 picks.
Who did they? He was 1-32. We're talking about Hugh Jackson, by the way, who came out today and also said that the Cleveland Browns gave incentives to tanking in the 2016-2017 seasons. And, man, more bad news for Cleveland. Like, golly, dude.
Man.
I never thought that I thought that Cleveland would make it further in the playoffs than the Cincinnati Bengals.
That and the fact that they loaded up on defense, even though I didn't think that the Clowney pickup was that big of a deal, but they loaded up on that defense. And, it just goes to show you how important that quarterback position is.
Yep.
Baker Mayfield might be a great teammate and all that, but he ain't got it. I'm sorry. Cool dude, I'm sure.
I don't even think he's a great teammate. I mean, the fans want him out of there. They're
Too many
booing
commercials.
him. Yeah. I don't know, man. I felt bad for Cleveland today when Hugh Jackson came out and said that. More bad news over there. But just a nightmare situation for the NFL as far as that's concerned, and as far as everything really that we talked about earlier. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole yet with that. We'll just wait till more stuff comes out. But
yes, sir.
As long as we're talking about these teams, the Washington football team, which, by the way, I loved that name.
You were cool with that?
I was dope with the Washington football. It sounds like a soccer team. Like
WTF.
Yeah. I mean, everybody thought it was what the yeah. But I liked Washington football team, and I liked it. I thought it was okay.
WFT.
They are now known as the Washington Commanders.
I want to know what that logo is going to look like.
I got it up here. I'll pull it up here in a second. Yeah, the Washington Commanders. Let's see if they've changed it on the yeah, here it is, Washington Commanders. So you'll see a look at their logo. It's just a W.
Man, they really
there's their uniforms.
They really went out of their way for that logo, didn't they?
That looks like the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, I like that black and gold. That's sweet.
That's the Steelers uniform,
yeah,
though.
that is nice.
They went a little old school. It's called the Washington Commanders. There's comments left and right about this. Let's be honest, though. No one ever likes the name when it first comes out. No one. Yeah. No one's like, that's sweet. No, dude. It's like,
it takes a little while. Just like when the Texans name, because we're all thinking is going to be something kind of like the Oilers, whatever, something cool. But yeah, it took a while to warm up to the Texans.
Yeah, and then people loved it. Yeah, people absolutely loved it. I mean, the Houston Texans, when that came out, originally it was the Dallas Texans. So why would you go to that? There was throwback because of that. Of course, there's just type in Washington Commanders and look at all of the. We got a couple people on here saying some funny stuff about the Commanders. So I can't some stuff I can't even mention. So the Washington Commanders. I don't hate it, but I'm not in love with it.
I'm not in love with it. Thought they'd come with a little something. And they had plenty of time to come up with a cooler name than my opinion.
I actually thought Washington football team was better than that.
It's all right.
I like the Washington football team. It was kind of old school. It was a throwback, and I wish they would have left it there. Maybe because we had a couple years to get used to it.
Yeah. And then it just kind of sunk in. Like, I'm good.
Like next year, the Commanders are playing the Eagles. I don't know. That doesn't sound correct,
right.
dude. That just doesn't sound right, man. I bet they'll be called like the Commanders and the Giants go at it.
Man, yay! Can't wait.
I don't know, man. I got a few Washington Washington football team. I'm going to call them that.
Right.
Washington football team fans out there. So if you guys.
I like how the sports announcers during the games, they just got used to calling it Washington football team.
Yeah.
They're not going to have to call it Washington Wizards.
The Wizards? Yeah. People hated that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Washington Wizards. Yeah, they still hate the
How
Wizards
about the
name.
Pelicans? That's always a good one for the basketball.
That's the worst.
That's the worst.
I think out of all, obviously Oregon State Beavers, whatever. But the New Orleans Pelicans is a bad one.
I mean,
that's pretty ruthless.
As New Orleans, you got all kinds of options for New Orleans. For a cool name. Hand grenade.
The New Orleans bourbon. I don't know. There's
Bourbon
always
Street.
don't leave it up to us to name names,
No.
but y'all let us know out there what your worst athletic team name is. And
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some really really bad ones, but the Washington Commanders it is, and that's what they've chose to go
They're
with.
sticking to
So we're leaving the Washington Commanders there alone. All right, more NFL news. I thought Jim Harbaugh was going down to Miami to get that job. Well, turns out Miami's in a whole bunch of crap. So
He's like,
he took off to Minnesota. And for all intents and purposes, it looks like Jim Harbaugh is going to be offered a 5-year, $45 million job to be the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings.
man, that's probably going to be a pretty good fit for him up there. I mean,
Yeah.
he's not going to be too far away from where he was coaching earlier. So a nice fit for him. I think he has more of that commander-style mentality, so to speak.
Yeah.
I've heard a couple of different things from people that he wasn't real well liked at Michigan. He was liked at Michigan. The players loved him. The players didn't love him. And, they talk about his pants a lot all the time. But, I mean, what have you heard about how he is welcomed by players?
So in 7 years, he had 4 10-win seasons, 10 or more win seasons in Michigan. They ended up ranked number 3 in the nation. After this year, he did turn the program around.
Yeah.
And 7 years, he did great there. And with the NIL deals and the transfer portals, look, he did his job.
Yeah.
I have no problem with him going back to the NFL. In fact, he was 44-19-1 in the NFL. That's a damn good record.
That's pretty dang good, man.
So I think that it's time for him to take off and go back to the NFL and see what he can do there, because he's got unfinished business, I would think. And look, he's going to the Minnesota Vikings in the NFC North. Green Bay, Minnesota, Chicago, Detroit.
Ooh.
He's got a really easy division.
Yeah, you like to step into that one on your first year.
And he's got he's got Adam Thielen, he's got Delvin Cook. I mean, he's got a roster already, and he's stepping into a good situation. This is all assuming that Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams do not go back to Green Bay.
Right.
I would think that Minnesota, with their new head coach, ends up leading. They're going to win that division.
Yeah.
Unless Chicago somehow with their new coach steps up, but I don't see that. I don't see that happening. So this is 5 years, $45 million is on the table for him. Why would you not take that?
Oh man, it's hard to pass up. $5 million a year.
$5 million, 5 years, $45 million, almost $10 million.
What am I thinking? Where's my brain today?
So he's got $8 million a year. That's a lot of money.
God, dang, man. I'm jumping all over that all day long.
Yeah, and the NFC, honestly, at the very beginning of the year, you had the NFC being like this incredibly strong conference, right? The Dallas Cowboys were insane. Green Bay Packers, Tampa Bay, Los Angeles Rams, Arizona, San Francisco, Seattle. At the beginning of the year, thought Seattle was going to be strong, right?
Yeah.
Now it turns out the AFC is where you don't want to play.
Yeah.
Those guys are the bomb.
Yeah.
I think he will take this job, and you'll see Jim Harbaugh, Minnesota Vikings head coach, here in the next few days.
Well, we'll see. I've been making some predictions. I've been wrong on a few, and this is just one. I'm gonna wait and see, like you said.
Wait and see what happens.
Yeah.
I think it's a great fit for him. I don't see why you wouldn't. You did what you could in Michigan.
Yeah, he accomplished his goal there. So let's go on to the NFL.
All right, let's get in. I haven't gotten your opinion. I know we talked this past weekend while the games were going on. What a fantastic Sunday for NFL.
Well, you know how it started for me. I was about to give up.
Yeah, you were. Well, we were texting, and it was 21-3.
And I was like, this game's over.
And you were like, damn, it's over. And I said, no. I said, just wait. And turning point of the game, Kansas City Chiefs not scoring with getting the ball on the 20-something yard line with 40 seconds left, and then not scoring a touchdown or a field goal. Nothing. Bad play calling. They didn't score. Cincinnati ends up getting the football back in the second half, drives right down the
Boom.
field, scores a touchdown,
Right back in it.
and boom, right back in it. What an incredible football game that was. Both games, just absolutely insane.
You know how gutsy of a performance that was? Okay, so Cincinnati, I mean, they were getting just beaten up on offensive line.
If Kansas City would have scored a touchdown, 28-3, over. See you later, game over. And I text you, I said, the Cincinnati demeanor, their body language was
just
it was terrible. They're just
yeah.
walking around like, oh man, we're getting destroyed.
It's like they almost lured him in, but when number 87 went down, the tight end, I don't know why I always call players by their numbers, but because maybe I can't remember their last name. But when he went down in the second quarter, I was like, dude, there's no way they're going to be able to work.
You're talking
about
Cincinnati?
Cincinnati, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Ozima?
OZ. Yeah. They're tight end.
Because I mean, after that, who was going to step up? And that's what I think I told you. Someone's going to have to step up. You're like, hey, one turnover. Wait.
Yeah, I said they needed a turnover.
And then going into halftime, it felt like maybe Cincinnati, even though they didn't put points on the board, they went into halftime with some type of confidence to swing that momentum going into half. And then the Chiefs, on the other hand, probably went into halftime with too much confidence and came out flat. 3 points. If you would have told me that
second half,
if you would have told me that and said, Mike, bet on this game, this is God telling you that the Chiefs are going to only score 3 points, I'd be like, dude, you need to go to a mental ward, because that's unbelievable. They shut Kansas City down for 2 quarters.
Pat Mahomes started the game 17 and he started the game 17 of 19, 220 yards and 3 picks. The rest of the way, 9 for 20, 55 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I mean, whoa.
What was going on? I understand that his production was it fell off, but what was going on between Tariq, Kelsey, and what was the other guy? Is it
Hardman?
Hardman. There was some.
There's Hardman, Pringle,
and that's where it can get tricky when you start designing plays on the field or whatever, and it becomes like, well, hey man, I'm or whatever, and they kind of like that clip I showed you last week. It can get really nasty, and they probably got out of game plan, they got out of sync, and then it looked like everybody was pissed off at each other in that second half. So they never got anything going, and I was just waiting and waiting and waiting. Okay, Kansas City can't lose this game, but I did say a couple weeks ago, Cincinnati, there was something special about that Cincinnati team. They play like a team. They're close-knit guys. It looks like they got each other's backs, and I don't know if that same feeling is over on that KC side. Maybe too many personalities now. I don't know. So, but they lost. Kansas City's in it, and I'm sure we're going to talk about the Super Bowl, because that's going to be.
We're going to get there in a second.
Yeah.
Did you know that on Sunday, this Sunday, that there is an NFL football game?
What?
See? That's everybody's reaction. Did you know?
The Pro Bowl,
dude. But who knew this was this Sunday? Nobody. No, I swear to God, even my own I was like, man, is the Pro Bowl this Sunday?
Yeah.
Like, really? Yeah, it's this Sunday, man, in Las Vegas. I was in shock. I was like, I thought it was later on, like after the season's over. But no, there is an NFL game this Sunday for all you gambling heads. The Pro Bowl is on this Sunday.
Take the over.
Right? I wonder what it is. I have to look that up.
I find it more enjoyable to watch the challenge course and all that stuff that those guys get into, because you get to see how their personalities really are. They're not necessarily competing to win. They're just competing to have fun. But you also get to see that competitive spirit. But I remember when Chad Johnson did the one of the little challenges, and he missed the line, or he ended up being short, ended up finishing the challenge, and he still won. And I was like, dude, that guy just must be a sick, tremendous, fast athlete, because he was going up against some other guys that were faster than him. I mean, I thought we were faster than him. Anyway, I love watching those challenges. The quarterbacks chunking the ball through those targets, the receivers doing their things. I don't necessarily like watching the bench press. I think that should go away.
Yeah.
How many people have bench pressed their way to the NFL? I don't know.
Yeah, not a lot. Probably not a lot.
That one tackle for the Dallas Cowboys.
No, James Harrison for Pittsburgh.
Was he a beast?
Dude, he's a James Harrison is he is a monster in the gym. He posts some of his weight training. It's like, it's all unconventional, and it's like he's dragging like 3 buses behind him, like walking down the street. That's how he trains for the NFL. You're like, wow, bro.
And he's still doing it. But if there's one dude that I've never seen that guy personally, but just on TV, if he looked at me the way he looked and I was on the field, I probably would faint. That dude,
James Harrison?
straight up,
Oh, yeah.
scary.
Yeah, he is something else. All right, let's get to the big game, which everybody is waiting to see, and it's about 13 days away. Is it 13 days? No, 11 days, something like that. Do you know today's 2/2/2/2?
At 10 o'clock. It'll be 2/2/2/2. At 10 o'clock, at 10:22 today, or 24/22.
Whatever the military time is.
Military time will be 2/2/2/2/2. Man, God, give me
a lot
another
of twos.
coffee. I get another coffee around here.
Rams at the Bengals. The LA Rams playing in their home stadium are technically the road team.
Yeah,
Which is
weird.
pretty funny, but not that it matters. I do think
It's just the locker room.
I do think there will be a lot of Cincinnati fans there. I really do, man. I think this is a feel-good story for a lot of people, and all the Raiders fans are going to be Cincinnati fans. The San Francisco 49ers fans are going to be Cincinnati fans. Like any team in LA that is either moved like Vegas or in California, they're going to be rooting for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Right.
Like, and they're a feel-good story. They're a great football team.
Yeah, they
I
are.
mean, it's going to be. I look for a really good football game. Right now, it sits at the over/under at 48.5, and the line has moved from LA minus 3.5. It moved a full point already to LA minus 4.5. You know how much money it takes to move a line a full point?
How much?
That's a lot. It is a lot. You got to gamble a lot. So a lot of people got it at LA minus 3.5. Initially, with it coming out like this, like, what's your thought on the game initially?
Man,
Over under 48.5, LA minus 4.5.
I would have to. I'm gonna go with the under, and the reason why is number one, the Rams are gonna probably just destroy that offensive line. So I think the Cincinnati Bengals are gonna go in there with kind of the same game plan they went into with the last game, and use that clock management and a little bit of the short game just to get them off. Because if they start going in that spread and they get those guys going on the defensive end, I mean, I don't see how they're going to be able to get the ball up. But that could, as I digress, I don't see Cincinnati putting up that many points in this game. I just don't.
You got the LA Rams that are 10-10 this year against the spread, and the Cincinnati Bengals are 13-7 against the spread, which is a really good number. 13-7 against the spread. The spread is 56% going to the LA Rams right now. Money line plus 170 for the Bengals, minus 200 for the Rams. Man, golly.
What's their nighttime record? Do you know?
In LA? No, man. If I knew that right off the top of my head,
Yeah,
that'd
sorry.
be crazy.
Yeah.
Tickets are starting at $4,000 to $6,000 for the cheapest tickets.
Cheap, no, stand up, like the little stand up section.
Man, y'all in LA, and it takes there's been massive issues about getting into that stadium. Some people are saying
about the rush?
2 hours. No,
Oh.
well, because you have to scan your card. They gotta take your temperature. You've got to be vaccinated to get in. It is an absolute disaster.
What?
Over 2 hour wait
You have
just
to be vaccinated
get in.
to get
Yes,
into the
LA.
game? Oh my god!
You have to be vaccinated and have your card. They got to scan your card. You can't have fake ones. Like, it's a mess, man.
Wow.
2 hours to get into a football game, but Super Bowl should be fun. The halftime show will be fantastic. That I cannot wait for.
Who's all playing in that?
Eminem, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg.
Of
I said this last show. I'm sure they will have the Tupac.
That's right.
What's it called? The
Hologram?
Yeah, they'll have the Tupac
That
hologram
is
come
so
up,
cool.
man. That will be amazing. Our producer saw it at Coachella.
Nice.
He saw it live. That is badass.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
you've
That's
seen it on
pretty cool.
TV, right? But what is it like in person? It just.
I was hammered. So.
Yeah, I was hammered. I don't know.
I think I remember you saying that. What is that, man?
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
What's in this alcohol?
If you were to pick your MVP of the Super Bowl, Rams winning, give me your MVP, and then Cincinnati winning, give me your MVP.
Oh man, for the Bengals to win, it's gonna have to be Burrow. I mean, that team lives and dies by that guy. The Rams, I'll make the easy
Cup.
call. Cup. I mean,
Yeah.
that guy is just ridiculous.
He would
out
deserve
there.
it this year.
Yeah,
He would
And it's-
absolutely deserve
It's
it.
kind of lining up for that for him. The stars are aligned. I mean,
They really are.
What a
Only
gr-
receiver ever to have 2,000 yards receiving in a season.
And what a great story it is. That a
Golly,
great
dude.
story. I mean,
Yeah, his wife, everything.
Oh, man.
Like,
It makes me tear up a little bit. Wish I had me one of those.
Rams go in at 12-5. Cincinnati goes in at 10-7. It's February 13th at 5:30 p.m. Here's a question for you, because there was a petition, and me and my buddy Mark Boardman started this probably 10, 15 years ago when we were like, damn the Super Bowl on a Sunday.
Right.
Have it. There's no college football. There's no big event on a Saturday.
Nope.
Have the Super Bowl. You already get 2 weeks off.
Right.
Have the Super Bowl on a Saturday.
Yeah, that way you can enjoy it a little bit longer if you want to.
Otherwise, make Monday a holiday.
Yeah.
They've already made it a holiday, and I think in Cincinnati they said they're like businesses on Mondays. Are like, I mean, come on, dude. What is wrong with? I understand Super Bowl Sunday, dude. Super Bowl Saturday has the same effect, bro.
Yeah.
And that way you can recover Sunday and get back to
work.
work, because the economy actually does take a hit
Yeah.
after Super Bowl Sunday. I promise you.
Absolutely,
dude. It
does.
hurts, man. I would much rather go on a Saturday evening and go watch it would be huge.
Yeah.
Not that it isn't now, but I mean, man, move it to Saturday. What's the problem?
Hey, you get to go all night long. all
Yeah.
night.
Afterwards, you get to have a party instead of you start driving around your own city at 10:30, 11 o'clock, man.
And
Everybody's hammered, bro. Hammered, trying to drive around, man.
It's not safe, NFL. Let's do it on Saturday, okay?
There's a petition that's out right now, and it's got a ton of signatures for them to move Super Bowl to Saturday, and I 100% am on board.
On board all day. Let's do it.
For
Saturday.
all the kids in their 20s, man, y'all sign that petition. 'Cause I remember,
Exactly.
dude, that hurt, bro. That hurt. I mean, even the colleges, you got class the next morning.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to wake up Monday morning after Super Bowl and go to work, man.
I mean, the Uber driver doesn't
Some
even
people
want to wake
still
up.
are not asleep.
Right.
I'm telling you, some people are still up going to work on Monday from Super Bowl Sunday, which starts at 5:30 Saturday. Man.
And that is a long day to start. And you know what the people do. They go out Saturday and they get to going again on Sunday.
Yes, dude. You wake up at 12, 1, or not wake up. You start drinking at about 1, 2 o'clock, right?
Right.
Because you get the hair of the dog. And
Yep.
then, Super Bowl's coming up, starts at 5:30.
Everybody's out.
Dude, yeah.
Everybody's doing their thing, and you just can't whatever.
Super
I can't-
Bowl Saturday. That's same tone, same ring.
Yeah.
I'm okay with
SSS. Wait, SS.
Super SBS.
SBS.
I mean, it doesn't change. Like
almost-
Super Bowl Sunday. No, Super Bowl
almost-
Saturday. Are you doing squares this year?
Yeah, I'll do some squares.
I think we might have some
I'll do
squares.
it. I'm down with that.
We are going to be live at McIntyre's, which is going to be pretty awesome. We've got an hour and a half set from 3 to 4:30, an hour before the game. It's going to be phenomenal, man. I cannot wait. And we're going to have squares. We're going to have some guests on. It's going to be a blast, man.
While
it's
you
gonna
wait,
be,
hydrate. Better be hydrated that day. You know what's cool about?
I bet by the end of the show I'll have a buzz. I'm just going to
little
put that
bit.
out there.
Well, and you know what's going to be cool about?
I bet our
Max?
producer will too.
Yeah, he's gonna be-
He's like, yeah.
he's gonna be taking shots in the background.
He's soccer. He's massive
All
soccer
right.
guy. So
Okay.
on our usually on Wednesday show, if Rachel's here, we'll have gambling bets, and he throws in his soccer bets. So maybe tomorrow we'll get some soccer bets in from Jason over there, man. That because he won a couple of them this week.
You know that. Well, when next time there's a big soccer game, I want to go because that sounds fun. Now, let me tell you,
Kevin Anthony, I'm $1,200 deep in squares at the moment. God, Saturday, Super Bowl Saturday.
Kevin, how many
Squares.
games you playing in over there?
Even if it's $100 squares.
One square.
You
Hey.
got one square? Yeah. Oh, one square. Kevin's got one square for $1,200. That's it. Damn, that's a big board. I do have a friend of mine that had a car. It was like 2 years ago, man. He had like a 1969 Camaro, and it was $1,000 a square. And I mean, if you won, you got the car. It was amazing. I didn't get it, obviously. I'd be driving that thing. But that was pretty impressive. They have all sorts of stuff, man. I love doing squares. The whole day at Super Bowl, like you said, it's just awesome. And having a live show at one of the more popular places in the city is going to be amazing, man. I
what's
can't
cool?
wait.
You know what's cool about that? Since we don't always surface all the same time together like we used to back in the day, is getting to see guys that you hadn't seen in, maybe a year, 2 years, 6 months, whatever it is. But a lot of those old school guys and girls come around, and we get to say hi. But it's got to be hard for you guys on air because everybody wants to come up and buy you a shot.
Oh, dude, they scream nonstop. We did it last year, right? It's just like, you're just like, there's people walking behind you that want to do stuff, man. But it's just part of the deal. By the way, ex-Browns head coach Hugh Jackson earlier, he was offered bonuses for tanking. Through 2016 and 2018, lost 36 of 40 games.
36 of 40.
36 of 40 games, and he was offered incentives to tank. So more tanking stuff coming out with this whole situation with Brian Flores. Just sticky, man.
That is
absolutely sticky. And like I said before, out of all the allegations, I think the money for tanking that's the biggest stain. That's huge. That has some massive implications to it. And now you've got the Cleveland Browns old manager or old head coach coming out and saying that he was offered money to tank. Ouch, man. This affects players. This affects families. This affects assistant coaches. Just everybody in general,
involved, man. Yeah.
And look, it didn't help them.
No, it didn't. I mean, but at the same, when you have that mentality, I mean, I think that just resonates, man, and that that curse is kind of sticking with Cleveland. Don't ever tank if you don't. If you're gonna tank, put the young guys in there and let them play. I guess I don't know. I mean,
there's all sorts of ways to tank, like you just said. Maybe put in the younger guys. Maybe, I mean, if somebody's hurt, you always hold them out a little bit longer.
Right.
There's plenty of ways to tank without actually taking money and then enforcing people. These guys, how many injuries occurred for the Cleveland, season-ending injuries and affected people's careers from 2016 to 2018 from them tanking?
Right. Because guys know that, and they're going to get on the field and. One guy's going 100%, the other guy's going 50%.
Yes, dude, that's
and then next thing you
can't do that.
No, you can't do it. The injuries will happen when people are doing stupid stuff like that.
Yeah, unbelievable. Real quick, notable free agent quarterbacks, man. We were just talking about Pittsburgh and Denver, and if they're going to get a quarterback, and a few teams need them. Teddy Bridgewater, Jacoby Brissett, Andy Dalton, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Marcus Mariota, Colt McCoy, Cam Newton, Tyrod Taylor, Mitchell Trubisky, Trevor Siemian, and Jameis Winston. Not the brightest of people in that list, man.
Oh, Jameis, man, he has made a name for himself in that department.
Another real quick thing. This is really sad news and from another sport before we get out of here. Not sad news, but it sucks for baseball fans. The meetings between Major League Baseball Players Association and the MLB is over. Little progress was made. The on-time opening of spring training at this point is in grave danger and frankly would take a miraculous deal coming together to rescue. A delay feels inevitable.
Wow.
That is very, very bad news for the MLB, man. And for me being a massive baseball fan, that's with everything that's going on, for them not to get this handled is unbelievable. You guys are handing out $750 million, $500 million in money to some of these players, man. Who's pissed off? And I understand some of the things have to do with minor leagues and has to do with guys getting more money when they're in their early contracts. But golly, man, come on, dude. There's way too much money in baseball for y'all to be fighting and not to kick off spring training when it's supposed to kick off.
Yeah, and the other thing is, I mean, we look what we have been through a time in our lives that hopefully we never have to go through before. But if everybody remembers, baseball was being played on TV and there was no fans in the stands.
Yep.
And it's like,
y'all could get it together for 60 games during the pandemic, but y'all can't
do
this
together. Yeah, I mean, come on. I mean, and we're the ones paying the bill.
Yeah.
So baseball has a black eye on it for many different reasons. And we talked about this on the last show.
The strike, and this is because the real. Look, y'all can talk about steroids all you want with baseball.
Right.
The real black eye is y'all keep suspending the seasons.
Right.
This is why people get pissed off at baseball. Don't give me the steroid crap because, honestly, I compare this Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes, this NFL, to Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa, bringing baseball back. Even though it was steroids, man, everybody was watching. And everybody's watching the NFL now because these kids are what's going on. I mean, that's the same sort of thing. So I hate this for the MLB because, man, this has to do with money, and y'all throw around $500 million like it's nothing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so this will be really annoying for the fans if MLB cannot get their crap together before the start of spring training. That is absolutely embarrassing. Top free agents left when they do get it together. Number 1, Carlos Correa, Chris Bryant, Trevor Story. Listen to these free agents, man. Carlos Correa, Chris Bryant, Trevor Story, Freddie Freeman, Clayton Kershaw, Carlos Rendon, Nick Castellanos, Kyle Schwarber, Anthony Reed, and Keelan Jansen. Like,
Woo.
wow.
That's a lot of money sitting out there.
That
Isn't it?
is a ton of money, and those
Man.
guys are ballers.
Th-
So
That's a big chunk of talent right
yeah,
there.
and none of them are signed right now.
No.
All free agents. Very interesting. One stat before we get out of here that has to do with baseball. I wanted to throw out at y'all about Greg Maddox, in my opinion, top 5 pitcher of all time.
This is crazy.
Greg Maddox won 355 games and pitched in 5,008 innings. All right, excluding intentional walks, he went to a 3-0 count only 133 times in his whole career.
Oh my God.
That might be one of the most absurd stats I have ever heard in my life, bro.
What did someone say?
He
could-
pitched 5,008 innings in his whole career. He only went to a 3-0 count 133 times, dude.
That is.
Holy crap.
And when you go back and look at his pitching, oh wow, it was so before its time at that
Yeah,
in that time.
precise.
But I was told by a guy that played professional baseball for a long time. He said Greg Maddox could throw a BB through a Cheerio.
Damn. That's about right, dude. Like, I mean, that puts into perspective Greg Maddox, man. Unbelievable, man. Look, guys,
Yeah.
I want to thank y'all for watching the Sports with Balls, myself and my man, Mike Scarborough
Yeah,
over
man.
here, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. We will be back tomorrow night. You guys stay tuned. This is Sports with Balls. I'm Jeff Michael. This is Mike Scarborough.
The legend Jeff Michaels.
Also, before we get out of here, got to thank a couple of people. Construction Concepts, changing corporate culture one design at a time, from hospitality to corporate, luxury retail, and medical facilities. Their team of experts can create or update a space that exceeds your expectations. Give them a call, 713-589-2682, buildithouston.com. Also,
What's up,
man,
Josh?
Josh and Mark just finished building the 100th Torchy's Tacos
Damn.
in Austin. Yeah, it's their 100th store in Austin, man. Absolutely insane. You know,
Wow.
obviously they have them everywhere here. Yeah, 100. They did their 100 Torchy Tacos.
That's freaking
unbelievable.
awesome.
Call
and
them.
those places are cool looking.
Yeah, man, they're good.
They do such a good job.
They're on point, man. Also, Roy Stanton Hybrid Technology Groups, 832-336-1201. When it comes to reliability, they're the ones you need. Phones, cable services, surveillance cameras, cloud servicing. Roy Stanton, man, he is the bomb. He will hook your whole business up with anything you need. iCloud services, just absolutely everything. He is the man. But, all right, man, that was a great show. Appreciate
man.
you, brother.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff.
You got it, man.
Yeah,
We'll
man.
see you guys tomorrow night, 6
One
o'clock.
love, one
Jeff
love.
Michael, Mike Scarborough. This is Sports with Balls, y'all. We out of here.
Holler at me.